primary. I was hoping what we have yesterday was. By the way, you guys could hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I was hoping what we were doing yesterday was working, but I don't know what the problem is. So I'll look into it this week and see if I could come up with a different solution, okay? Alright, so today we'll work on the Pixie boot. So I'll tell you what it is. So let's see here. So what I'll do is I'll take one of the server here and create a new server. Okay, so let me do this here. Clone. I'm gonna make it a Pixie. It's taking longer to make a clone. So what is this is? This is a short for um, pre-boot execution. Pre-boot execution environment. So it's pronounced Pixie. Pixie. Okay. So Pixie is one of the component of the server installation which allows a server to boot from. Pixie is one of the component of the server installation which allows to boot from Pixie server on network. You guys know a network boot, right? You could boot from network also. You could boot from CD, you could boot from the hard drive, and you could also boot from the network. Prior to booting from operating system on the local hard drive. This is used for mass installation of the servers. Alright, so let's get going here. So what we need to do is configure Pixie network boot installation. is what? Network boot. Without the need of a DVD or USB. Okay, so let's see what we could do here. And we need to install a package, so I'm going to enable the internet here for a moment. Just enable this for a little while, and then we're going to come back and disable this. Okay, I'm going to start this. So I'm going to log in here, root, my password, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name here, vi/etc/host name. I'm going to change it to pixie.zmpt.com. Okay, so how are we doing for the DNS server here? Give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna say pixieboot.zmpt.com. Okay. I'm gonna clear this and I'm gonna IPA. So let me connect to the IP address. One 192.168.137.236. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and uh, so I'm gonna say server IP equals, you might want to make it a static IP here, okay? So this one here, we're gonna have to go make it a static IP. So I'm gonna say vi slash etc slash sysconfig slash network scripts slash if ifcfg enp0s3, okay? In here we have boot proto is dhcp, so I'm going to change it to static static, okay? And here I'm going to make it IP ADDR equal and net mask equal 255.255.255.0. Okay. 192.168. Hold on. Yeah, we need 192.168 56 IP, not this one IP. And IP address is net mask. Okay, so this looks good to us. .56 56.200 170. How about that? Okay, this will come up when we reboot here. Okay, so before that I'm gonna 192.168.56.170, right? And the host name equals pixieboot.zmpet.com. Okay, and yeah, that's all you need here so far. So what you need to do is yum install dhcp tftp tftp server sys linux vsftpd xinetd. Okay, these are all the packages you need to install. Some may or may not be in there already, so I'm gonna just copy this and put it in here. Install the packages. Okay, then you do -y. I cancelled it. So let's go ahead and do -y. That means you don't have to give the name each time. Okay, so it installed. How many things we needed here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So installed 1, 2, and then this is the third one, and then this is the fourth one, then this is the fifth one, and this is the sixth one. Okay, it installed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 packages. Okay, which is very good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear this and restart the system, or I'm going to shut it down because I have to disable the what do I need to disable? I need to disable the outside network. That's why I'm shutting it down. Let's do host only adapter, and I'm going to disable this. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it back up here. Okay, I'm going to log in and see if we could connect here. Yeah, we can connect. We could connect to 270 or 170 just fine. So I'm going to put root. I'm going to do Red Hat. Okay, 170 is fine. And then what I'm going to do is actually so here set static IP, okay? Everybody know how to set the static IP, okay?
Sure.
All right. And now we did that. We installed the packages and set the static IP and host name. Okay, you're doing these two things here. Okay, now we installed the package. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna configure the DHCP server here. I told you guys what a DHCP server is, right? Don't tell me you don't know that, because I have explained you. So now configure DHCP server for Pixie. So what we're gonna do is what is DHCP? So DHCP is dynamic host control protocol. Okay, so this is the IP address given out by the server. So in your case, in our case, most of the time, the IP is given out by the router. So it's assigning the IP randomly. Okay, so what we're gonna do is let's see here. So what I'm gonna do is cd /etc srdoc etc no, not this, DHCP, and you do ls here, and there is a DHCP configuration file here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a copy of this. .bak, and I'm going to give the date on it too, 09/13/2020. Okay, so it's going to sit there, but we're going to actually modify the DHCP file. Modify the DHCP file here. Okay. Okay, so example file here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we could go in this place here. Okay, so there is a example file in here, DHCP configuration example file. So what we'll do is pwd. I'm going to copy this example file where am I copying to? I'm going to copy to this folder here. So I have a example file here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pwd So here I'm going to remove this file RM. We already made the backup of this file here. Which is the backup? Right here. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this file to DHCP. How are you going to rename the file? Anybody? We use the move command. Okay, rename the file. So you copy the example file, and then from there you delete the original file here, and then and also what we did was we did a backup too, right? Okay, and then copy the example file to /etc/dhcp. So you go in that example file and you copy from there to dhcp folder, okay? Yeah, you got a question? Okay, good. Now, what we're gonna do is we copied the file and now what I'm gonna do is dhcp configure and then I'm gonna remove the file now. Okay, and then what you do is you rename it. Okay, so the color difference will tell you you have to do something else at this moment. And okay. Okay, now what we're gonna do is now we are actually gonna configure the DHCP configuration file. Okay, and so I'm gonna clear this pwd and I'm gonna do ls. I'm gonna do vi dhcp so this should have some content in here, right? Okay, so now what I'm gonna have to do is DHCP's configuration file. Okay, so Actually, I don't like what I see here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this file. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring that original file back, and then I'm gonna name this file. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back in here, get now I'm gonna go into this web here. Config file, CentOS 7. Okay, so yeah, I don't like all this here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say this is a DHCP configuration file. Okay, and go ahead and copy and paste this. Okay, and so here what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do the domain name is let's see here, what is the domain name we got is our domain name pixieboot.zmpt.com, and this one is 192.168.56.17T. Okay, and the broadcast address is gonna be 192.168.56.255, and subnet, whatever your IP address is, just put it 0 here. Okay, 192.168.1 no 56.0. Okay, subnet mask is going to be the same, and the IP addresses is going to give is within this range here. Okay, 192.168.56. So we're going to restrict this IP address here, right? So this is the range. So we're going to give it to 170 is already taken. So I'm going to do 171 to 192.168.56.200. So the maximum server IPs the server is going to give out to you about, the maximum is 256, but you have to set up a range here. In here, 171 to 200 is how much? About 29. Okay, and let me copy this here. And the next server is our server here. 192.168.56.170. Okay, all these things matters here. So I'm going to duplicate this. So I'll tell you where all this information is coming from. Root Red Hat IPA. Okay, so IP address is 192.168.56.170. Okay, so what is happening here is 192.168.56.170. We took this here. Okay, and we need a subnet here. Where is the subnet coming from? This is the subnet here, 192.168.56.56.0. You just have to put down 0 here, and then the net mask is 255.255.255. Where is the net mask? Generally speaking, if you're working in the home, that's what is going to be net mask here. Okay, usually put this number blindly for any of you. And this is the range, 56 to 171. Okay, and then the domain server name is, this is going to be 172. .192.168.56.170. And then this one is the name of the server. Okay, and this is also the name of the server. Remember I told you this is how the router is going to go, but in this scenario is going to boot here. Okay, and option, broadcast option is right here, 192.168.255. Where is that coming from? 192.168.255. Okay, all these things are very, very important. all these things are not necessary here. Configure DHCP Pixie server. You don't need to backup, copy example file. All this is garbage here, so I remove that. Yeah, you don't need this either. Okay, so configure DHCP configuration file. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to do IPA and copy this information and keep this in front of you, okay? Get the IP and broadcast information. BROED cast. Okay, so you do IP-A, right? Broadcast. So what is the information you need to be looking at? You need to be looking at this information. You need to be looking at this information. Okay? And in here, what is the information you determine? From this information, you determine this information here. So subnet would be simply 0 here. Okay? Okay, instead of 171, just put down 0 here, okay? And here, this is always going to remain the same. Okay, and this is just the range here. When we're going to do the Pixie boot, it's going to pick up from this range here. It will randomly give the IP address between 171 and 200. Okay, that is that. And this is the IP address of this server. Again, this is the same information. In fact, what I'll do is I'll change this information, the color I'll change it so that you would know. Okay, so the color would be, okay, so Okay, 170, 170, 170. So this, you could tell, you could give that information right from here. Okay, and the broadcast information, where is this information coming from? And I'm gonna change the color here to turquoise. Okay, see, you see where is the broad color information. So you copy that information, it's going there. Okay, and how do you determine this? You determine this based on what you already have here. And you do see 255. So this information here, 1, and this information here, you use this information based on the IP address. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is uh, you get the idea, right? It's crystal clear here. How do you determine this part? You determine this part based on here. You determine this part based on this information here. All you have to do is simply type 0. And this number is not going to change. It's going to be changed even. It's going to be same for you. Okay. And this is the range. Do it from here 171 to 200. Okay. All right, let's move forward. So now we're gonna do config TFTP file, TFTP server file. What is TFTP? I haven't. TFTP is trivial file transfer control protocol. Is that what it is? Okay. Okay, now how are we gonna do that? Let me get out of here. I'm gonna do cd, I'm gonna do clear. I'm gonna do vi/etc/xined.d. Okay, and I'm gonna go in this folder here, okay? ls. And then what we have to do is we have to configure this file here. /tft. In here, protocol looks good, and socket is datagram, protocol UDP, and do you want to weight it? Yes. Server user name is root, server is okay, so, and this is where all the files is going to be, the Pixie boot files is going to be. Okay, and then disable. Okay, all this looks good to me. Okay, I'm out of there. Now what we need to do is we need to copy the network book related files to TFTP server. Okay, so now what we're going to do is copy network boot related files to var lib tftp boot. cd/var/lib/ okay, there is nothing in here. This folder is created when you have installed the TFTP server here. So we install so many packages here. We install these many packages here. That's why this is being automatically configured here, but you still need to do a manual configuration. So what you're gonna do is, where you're gonna copy this from, you're gonna have to go to cd/usr share and syslinux, and you do there ls-l. So what you're gonna do is cd minus ewd cd. So there is a command called cp-v, and then you copy this absolute path, and then what we need is a pixie linux .0 file. And where are we copying that file to? We are copying that file to var lib tftp. Okay, we are copying to this folder here. So I'm gonna go to clear cd /var lib tftp boot. Okay, now we should have some starting to put some files in there. We're gonna copy these configuration files into this folder here. Okay, so we copy this file there, and so if you do ls, there should be one file there. So in total, we're gonna copy a total 5 files here. Okay, so go up here and change this to menu. Just to the tab, menu.c32. Hit enter. Go back here and then change to memory disk. Memdisk. Memdis. Okay, so we need memdisk in there. Okay, copy that file also. Okay, and then we're gonna do mboot, I'm sorry. mboot.c32. Get in a habit of using the tab key so that it autofills it for you and you don't do any mistakes. And then another file we need is chain c dot okay. Okay, now what we're gonna do is make directories in TFTP folder. So what we're gonna do is cd var lib tftp boot. Okay, and if you do ls here, you have these 5 files in there. ls-l. Here you're gonna make a folder mkdir and then space pixie linux. Make sure you're typing it right. Pixie linux.cfg config folder. Okay, and do mkdir network boot. Okay, and if you do ls-l, you should see these 2 folders in there. Okay, all right. Who just joined? Who was that person who joined? You got a ghost in here, huh? Okay. So now what you could do is, now we're gonna mount the CD here. Now we're gonna mount the ISO file here. This could be any OS file, including Windows. This is not restricted to Linux here. You could, if you want to mass install Windows, you could do that too. Okay, we'll see if we are able to do it or not. Okay. So I'm gonna go CD here. So what I'm gonna do is what you have to do is you have to bring a WinSCP. One 192.168.56.170. It may not work because 192.168.56.170. Okay, it will work. And you give root red hat. Okay, so what you're gonna do is over here, before this, copy ISO file to the TFTP server using a WinSCP. Okay, you do this. You copy it here and you have to go where your ISO file is at. Let me go in now my documents where my file is at. It's not here. Let me go into, it's not here. Okay, I have this CentOS file in here, okay? So I'm going to drag and drop it in here. Okay, so you drag and drop it in here, okay? If you do ls here, you should see the file coming in. You see this file coming in here. It says dot file partition. That means it's partial file, it's not complete file yet. Okay, so if you do ls here, the file is here, right? Now what we're going to do is I'm going to mount this file here. Okay, I'm going to mount it to mnt folder. Mount -o loop, and then I'm going to say mnt. That is fine. Read only is fine. So now mount the file, mount the copied ISO. And if you go into cd/mnt folder, you should see all the files in there. These are the files that is part of the operating system here, okay? So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna copy everything in here to the public folder for FTP file. cp-av and an asterisk, that means everything from here, and copy to var FTP and public folder. Okay, and I'm gonna hit enter here. Okay, so what was the command cp? If you do ls here, all the files are getting copied in here, okay? Then after that, we're going to copy kernel file, VM Linux. Okay, I know what you know what the kernel file is, right? Uname -r. This is the kernel file here. So when you restart the system, you'll see this here, right? The file name. Uh, okay, so you get this option here, right? This is the file we copy. This is informational only. Okay, so it looks like it has copied already here, right? Where is the Linux file actually is uh, so you go to cd/boot, I think, ls. So all these files are listed in here, okay? This is just informational only. Uh, okay, so do you guys have another 5 minutes here? Maybe I'll finish this. I'm gonna copy cp mnt, okay, and images, and then pixie boot, and then VM Linux, okay, and then where am I going to copy that to? I'm going to copy to var lib. Okay, and I'm gonna expand this. TFTP. Okay, and I'm gonna move it to copy it to network boot. Remember, I think we created these files here, right? The folders, network boot and Pixel Linux. Network and network boot. Make sure the spelling is correct. Okay, you copy that, and then you also copy MNT, and then images, Pixie boot, and you copy init.rd file. Where do you copy it to? The same place. var lib tftp boot network. Okay, so if you go in here, you do ls, there should be 2 files in here. Okay, I think I'll stop here. We'll pick it up where we stopped here from next week here. Okay, if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat and then we'll go from there. Okay, you all have a good day. Bye.